Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 5th. We are going over our May Player of the Months, as well as another series recap. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today on a lovely Monday? I hope everybody had wonderful weekends. I spent some of that time at the doctor's. I have I dislocated my knee, so that's fun. Gonna be sitting out for a little while here, but that means I get to watch a little bit more baseball than I would normally. We've got to go over our Player of the Months for May. We're gonna do it the same way we did it in April, so I'm going to go over my picks for AL and NL Player of the Months, going by position. All the positions, 3 outfielders, 1 starter, 1 rookie, and then the DH as well. We'll do that for the AL and then the NL, and then we'll do a quick look over at who MLB thought was the Player of the Month. We'll look at their picks as well as their team of the month, and then we'll dive into our series recap. One note here before we begin, with injury updates, I decided to kind of not cancel it, but it'll be more like the rookie talk thing where it's like when it's needed. Any big major injuries we'll go over in the baseball news segment, but there's just too many injuries that could happen. It's kind of hard to track it since we do it once a week. So, I mean, yeah, it was just a lot to do. So for now, we're just going to be talking about like big major injury updates whenever they occur. So you'll get a feel for that later on today because we have 2 to go over. But there will be no injury updates from now on, I guess. Or at least unless there's like a big day of injuries or a big week of injuries where a lot of important players go down. But yeah, so that's going to do it for that. Let's dive right on into the Player of the Months for May. All right, so starting us off, we'll start in the AL again. Catcher. We're going to go with Salvador Perez with the Royals. He had 9 home runs in the month, an OPS of 971. Definitely came back to form a little bit. He had a slow April, but he is definitely back. And he is going to be the catcher for the month of May. In terms of first baseman, we're going to go with Yandy Diaz again. He won it in April. He's definitely going to get it again here in May. He and the Rays continue to be on a tear. His on-base was 421, and his OPS was 1.034 for the month of May. Very impressive stuff there from Yandy Diaz. He's continued to be the best first baseman in the AL this year, which would shock many, considering the great candidates like Vladdy, Rizzo. I'm sure there's other guys that I'm just forgetting, but yeah, good stuff there from Yandy Diaz. He's definitely taken the reins and has become an elite first baseman once again. For second base, we're going to go with Marcus Semien with the Rangers. The Rangers had a fantastic month of May, and Marcus Semien played a part in that. His on-base percentage, 392. He had 21 RBIs. He had 23 runs scored. The Rangers offense has been powerful. It's been taking down some teams, and you'll see in the series recap what I mean by that. But I mean, Rangers have been a team. They've been leading the the AL West for some time now. So really good stuff there from Semien and the Rangers in general. Looking at third base, Isaac Paredes with the Rays. His on-base percentage was 380. His OPS was 923. We're talking about these Rays and these Rangers. I mean, that definitely seems like it could be a matchup at some point in the playoffs already. 2 teams that have just been on fire for the whole season. And the Rays, they continue. They're one of the only teams with 40 wins. And Paredes has had a big month after, again, a slower April. He's kind of turned it around in a big way for Tampa. Looking over at our shortstop, there really is only one who's been pretty dominant, and that's Bo Bichette. continues to lead the league in hits. A batting average of 360 in the month of May, 42 hits and 5 home runs for Bo. A shortstop that's got some power, but he has led the MLB in hits over the last 3 or 4 years. If you need a hit, Bo Bichette's probably going to give it to you. Just the way things have been going for the Jays. A little bit of a slower May than April, but Bichette has remained consistent as ever. And good stuff from Bo there. Heading to the outfield now, we're going to go with Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox. He had 8 home runs in the month, an OPS of 1.4. Really good stuff from him. Aaron Judge, 342 average, 12 home runs, 25 RBIs, good for an OPS of 1.356. Judge really turned it on in the month of May. He now has a total of 19 home runs, 12 of which came in the month of May, so good stuff from Judge there. And lastly, Riley Green with the Tigers. He had an impressive month, an on-base percentage of 439, an OPS of 1.018. Tigers are second in the AL Central, AL Mid Division. Third actually, but very close. And Riley Green had a really good month to kind of help them out. Overall, that team is lacking some star names, but Riley Green, one of those young guys who's supposed to make a name for himself, he's done a pretty good job of that so far. He has earned himself a Player of the Month. For starting pitcher, this one was very easy compared to last month. Nathan Eovaldi and the Texas pitching staff has been amazing. But Eovaldi's been on a different level. He's 4-0 in the month of May, an ERA of 0.96, 0.96. It was been impressive. 31 strikeouts for him too. He had a phenomenal month. He's had a phenomenal season, realistically. I mean, he's definitely a candidate right now for AL Cy Young winner. Without DeGrom, the Rangers have looked to him. They have looked to John Gray. There are guys there who've been doing it, and Nathan Eovaldi did it for the month of May. Very impressive stuff throughout, and just adding on to his achievements as a starting pitcher. We remember him with his Boston days, but now with Texas, he's definitely turned on a new level. So good for Nathan Eovaldi there. For the Rookie of the Month for April, again, it's going to be Josh Jung, who really looks like he's going to take AL Rookie of the Year award this year. He's been phenomenal with Texas, averaging 318, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs, and an OPS of 917 for the month of May. Really good stuff from Josh Jung, second time winning the Rookie of the Year, Player of the Month. Like I said, Texas has been really great. And you look around that lineup, I mean, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Josh Jung, Nathaniel Lau, Mitch Garver behind the dish. Adolis Garcia has been phenomenal. You look at the pitching staff. Texas has turned themselves into a really good team within a year and a half here. And Josh Jung definitely going to continue to lead for that AL Rookie of the Year title, but definitely takes another Rookie Player of the Month home with him, which takes us off lastly to the DH spot for the AL side, and it'll be Yordan Alvarez with the Astros. 8 home runs, an OPS of 1.053. The Astros have yet to take first place in the AL West. Texas has continued to battle against them. Really the Battle of Texas. And, the Astros have been this powerhouse threat for the last few years. Here comes Texas. And, the Astros, I know it's still kind of early. We're a third of the season done. But the Astros need to continue to click. Jose Altuve is back. Jeremy Pena continues to figure things out. Alex Bregman has been turning it on recently. But Yordan Alvarez definitely had a very impressive month of May. And he earns himself the DH Player of the Month. Those are your AL Player of the Months according to myself. Moving on to the NL side of things, we've had a catcher who's been very, very good recently with the Mets, Francisco Alvarez. For the month of May, 7 home runs, a batting average of 309, good for an OPS 1.088. The Mets have been not mediocre because they've been playing all right. They have their games where, they look like the Mets that they should be, and then they have those games where they look like Oakland. It's been a rough kind of go for the Mets recently. They're at 500. But yeah, Francisco Alvarez, their young catcher, definitely turning it on and starting to make a name for himself. So good for him. And good for the Mets, I guess. For first baseman, there was one clear choice there. Freddie Freeman, he had himself one hell of a month, averaging 400 for the month of May, 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, an OPS of 1.184. Very strong stuff from Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers, who remain in competition with the Diamondbacks for first place in the NL West. Freeman is one of the elite first basemen in the game, and has been for the last 5-10 years. So good for him. Good to step it up for the month of May there. Second baseman, we've talked about this guy a lot, Nolan Gorman with the Cardinals. I mean, on a team like the Cardinals, who have been playing like they have been, they need a strong spot, and Nolan Gorman has definitely been this young guy who's been turning it on for them. 7 home runs and an OPS of 993. Very strong stuff. And speaking of Nolans, and speaking of the Cardinals, your third base player of the month for the month of May is Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals, also with 7 home runs and an OPS of 893. I mean, together, these two have been able to elevate the Cardinals a little bit. They had a strong start of May, kind of quieted down towards the end here, but the Cardinals need to continue to fight. They need to continue to work their way through that NL Central. It's really theirs to take, so we're just kind of waiting, waiting for someone to take it. And waiting for some of these Cardinals to step up. Wilson Contreras, Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt's been good, but I mean, you look at his NL year, MVP year last year, he can definitely turn it on a little bit more, but, the pitching needs to come, outfield help needs to come. Hopefully the Jordan Walker coming back to the MLBs will help. But overall, the Cardinals have been average, but the Gorman and Arenado had themselves very good months. They earn NL second baseman and third baseman players of the month. Shortstop was a little bit tricky. Some of those shortstops didn't have the greatest Mays, the shortstops that you would know, like Lindor, Bogarts, and everything. I decided to go with Dansby Swanson with the Cubs, 16 RBIs, an OPS of 784. In terms of the strongest overall months, it would be Dansby. There's some shortstops you could say, but they've played a lot less games than Dansby did. Which is why I decided to go with Dansby. The Cubs have been playing all right. They had a little bit of a slump at the beginning of May, but they've kind of turned it back around a little bit, winning a good amount of games towards the end of the month here. Dansby Swanson has definitely played a big part after getting that big contract from the Cubs. That first month of April was a bit slow for Dansby, but he definitely turned it around in May, trying to earn himself kind of earning that money. He got paid. Time to show the Cubs what he can do. His last couple of years of his career has been very dominant, so we're hoping Dansby continues to elevate his game, and but definitely earned the player of the month for May. Outfield, we're going to go with Juan Soto with the Padres. He just continues to get walked after walked. I mean, he's on pace now for 150 walks on the year. His on-base percentage is 481 for the month of May and an OPS of 1.135. He's been electric. Christopher Morel with the Cubs. We talked about that dominant streak he had a couple episodes ago. 9 home runs in the month of May, an OPS of 1.084. He was on a tear with the Cubs. And then, of course, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. with the Diamondbacks. He had a phenomenal month. He's been playing really well in Arizona. 8 home runs, averaging 352, 18 RBIs and 18 runs. Lourdes has been extremely impressive for the month of May. He's been impressive all season long, actually. The Diamondbacks have, in general. You got guys like Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker, etc., but Lourdes definitely had a great month, had a lot of home runs, a lot of good moments with the Diamondbacks, some walk-offs and everything. So good for Lourdes. Those are your outfielders, player of the months for May. For the starting pitcher, we're going to go with Michael Wacha with the Padres. He's 3-0 in the month, an ERA of 0.84 and 26 strikeouts there. So very good there for Michael Wacha. For the rookie, I'm going to go with Spencer Steer. He averaged 318 in the month. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, good for an OPS of 945. The Reds have been kind of mediocre. We're not expecting them to be anything, but Spencer Steer has definitely been a big part in that team. A fun watch for the year if you're a Cincinnati fan, alongside Jonathan India. So good for Steer. Hopefully he can continue to make a name for himself. And for the DH, Jorge Soler, he also had a little bit of a home run streak, 5-6 days in a row with a home run with the Marlins. In the month of May, 12 home runs, 25 RBIs, and 20 runs. He's not going to hit for an average a lot, but is he going to crush some balls? I think he had 19 hits, 20 hits in the month of May, and 12 of those were moonshots. So Jorge Soler is your DH for the NL side. For the player of the month for May. It's still weird saying that the NL has a DH. I know it's been like a year now, but it's just been peculiar to point out that the NL has a DH, but definitely would be Jorge Soler for the May. That is my NL players of the month. Lastly here for the monthly awards, we're going to take a look at MLB's picks, starting off with the players. So for the AL, they decided to go with Aaron Judge. We talked about that. 342 average, 12 home runs. Very impressive month for Judge. And for the NL, it was Freddie Freeman, 400 average, 26 ribbies, 6 home runs. Good stuff for both of them there. For the pitchers on the AL, it's Nathan Eovaldi. I said it. He's dominant. He's been dominant. Good season for Eovaldi. Pitcher for the NL, Michael Wacha. Good stuff there. Rookie of the month for AL, Josh Jung, as he continues to kind of make a name for himself there. And for the NL, Spencer Steer. And for the relievers, something that I don't do, reliever of the month for AL, Alex Lang with the Detroit Tigers. 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, 17 Ks and 7 saves. And for the NL side, Camilo Doval with the Giants, 13 and 2/3 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts and 11 saves. Those were MLB's kind of picks there. And for the team of the month for MLB for the month of May, their catcher was Salvador Perez, first baseman Freddie Freeman, second baseman they went with Owen Miller. That's a little bit different there. It was shortstop Bo Bichette, third baseman Josh Jung, left fielder was Lourdes Gurriel Jr., center field Aaron Judge, right field Juan Soto, the DH Jorge Soler, their starting pitcher Nathan Eovaldi, and the relief pitcher Camilo Doval. So all in all, we've kind of listed those players who had big months of May, so good for all of them. If their name was said, if I said their name, they definitely had a strong month. But that is the recap. That is your players of the month for May. We're going to dive on into our series recap for June now. We're in June, so we're going to get that going the first weekend of June. Let's dive right on into that. Leading us off for the series recap, we've got the Rays in Boston taking on the Red Sox. After being down by 3 runs, the Red Sox would score 6 runs in the 6th inning to take the lead and hold on to it as they take the first game, winning it 8-5. In the second game, the Rays would answer back as they would be tied at 2 entering the 9th, and Harold Ramirez gets a 2-run double that would give the Rays the lead, resulting in a Tampa win as they take it 4-2. In Game 3, some poor and sloppy defense by Boston allows Yandy Diaz to get a Little League home run, as the Rays would have the Red Sox number throughout as they win the game 6-2. One more game between these two are being played later today thanks to a rain delay on Friday. So Boston has a chance to tie the series up, but for now the Rays take 2 of the 3. Tigers and White Sox, Andrew Benintendi, Eloy Jimenez, and Tim Anderson all with the RBIs in this game. The White Sox take the opener 3-0. In the second game, both runs in the game came off of wild pitches, which means we would head to extras tied at 1, and the White Sox, they would win on a walk-off wild pitch, as all the runs in the game were scored on wild pitches. The White Sox win it 2-1. In game 3, Spencer Torkelson, a 2-run home run, has the Tigers up, but the White Sox would tie it up. And as we jump to the 9th inning, it's Jake Berger who is the hero. He hits a walk-off grand slam, which not only means the White Sox sweep the series, but it also means that Liam Hendricks would get the win on a very special day, as the White Sox walk it off in grand fashion and sweep the Tigers 6-2. The Guardians and Minnesota face off for 4. After being down, the Guardians rise for 5 runs in the 6th inning to take a 3-run lead, but the Twins weren't done, as they scored those 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th with a Royce Lewis game-tying 2-run home run, which set up a Willie Castro walk-off sac fly in the 9th, as the Twins come back late to walk off the first of 4, beating the Guardians 7-6. In the second game, I won't lie, it was kind of a snoozer. The pitcher's duel that took place, it was 0-0 for most of the game. The only run was a Jorge Polanco RBI double, which led to the Twins' win, as Duran locks down the save intensely with some fastballs that were rising up in the 100-mile-an-hours there. The Twins win game 2, 1-0. In the third game, Jorge Polanco would get a leadoff home run to start things off for the Twins, but the Guardians get an answer. Will Brennan, a 2-run home run to give the Guardians the lead, and then Stephen Kwan would add on to that a solo shot of his own. The Guardians get a game, winning it 4-2. Another game on zeros until the 7th, when the Guardians strike with 2 runs. Willie Castro would hit a solo shot to get 1 back for the Twins, but they wouldn't score again, as the Guardians take W. They split the 4-game set with the Twins, as the Twins win the first 2 and the Guardians win the last 2. They win that one 2-1. The Rockies and the Royals, Ryan McMahon continues to play well, as he hits a solo shot to start the scoring in the series, and also drove in the go-ahead knock in the 8th, as the Rockies would score 6 runs in the 8th inning to put this game out of reach, beating the Royals 7-2. Instead of having a big inning late in the game like the first game, the Rockies decided to have the big inning in the first by scoring 5 runs. The Royals would chip away, but it wouldn't be enough, as the Rockies hold on. They take the W 6-4. In game 3, Maikel Garcia hits his first MLB home run for the Royals to give them a late insurance run, but it wouldn't matter much, as Brady Singer and the Royal staff blanks the Rockies to win it, as they avoid the sweep, winning it 2-0. The Angels and the Astros would play for 4. Astros, they make a call up for Ronel Blanco to make his MLB debut. He went 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. And he got his first MLB win thanks to a big 2-run single from Alex Bregman, as the Astros take the first of the 4, winning it 5-2. In Game 2, Astros tee off of Ohtani. Yordan Alvarez and Corey Julks hit home runs, while Framber Valdez shuts down the Angels, as the Astros take another 6-2. In the third game, Alex Bregman, he hits a grand slam to put the Astros up, but just when the Angels started scoring and attempting a comeback, Chas McCormick, he goes deep to put it out of reach, as the Astros take another 9-6. Final game tied at 1 late. Shohei Ohtani delivers a key RBI double to put the Angels up, which would lead them to the win, as the Angels salvage the series by winning 1 of the 4, as they take the last game 2-1. Mariners and Rangers, a very impressive pitchers duel between John Gray for the Rangers and Luis Castillo for the Mariners, ends up with the Rangers getting the best of them. A sac fly by Nathaniel Lau and an RBI double from Corey Seager as the Rangers win the opener 2-0. In Game 2, the Rangers explode against the Mariners, scoring 16 runs on 19 hits, including home runs from Leody Taveras, Marcus Semien, Nathaniel Lau, and Mitch Garver as the Rangers win big, 16-6. They would follow up that performance with 12 runs on 15 hits. Another game with their exploding offense. Corey Seager and Jonah Heim go deep. The Rangers get a huge sweep over the Mariners, winning it 12-3. The A's and the Marlins. Jesus Sanchez, a big 2-run home run in the first, is backed by a great start from Edward Cabrera as he strikes out 10 Athletics. The Marlins take the first game 4-0. In Game 2, Yuri Perez, a nice start there, and they go all out, scoring 12 runs, all without a home run. Luis Arias goes 5 for 5 with 5 RBIs. The Marlins win the second game 12-1. In the third game, the A's would score 5 runs in the third, but the Marlins would come back with Garrett Cooper hitting a 3-run game-tying home run, and later on, Luis Arias with the go-ahead run would lead to the Marlins win as they do what they need to do and sweep Oakland as they win the last game 7-5. The Phillies and the Nationals. The Nationals scored 6 runs in the first 2 innings to get the ball rolling. The Phillies would do everything they could to catch up. Nicholas Castellanos, he hits 2 home runs and went 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs, but it wouldn't be enough as the Nationals hold on to beat the Phillies 8-7. In the second game, JT Realmuto with the go-ahead home run in the 6th was what the Phillies needed to win as their pitching would hold down the Nationals. The Phillies take it 4-2. Rubber match between these two, and Kyle Schwarber and Drew Elias both hit 2 home runs in the game, as well as JT Realmuto, for a total of 5 Philly home runs, which leads them to the series and game victory as the Phillies win it 11-3. The Blue Jays and the Mets. George Springer with the leadoff Springer dinger, his 54th leadoff home run of his career, moving him up to second all-time. Dalton Varsho, he gets a 2-run shot late as well. Chris Bassett pitches well, and then after being pulled, he rushes to catch a plane to get home in time for the birth of his second child. The Jays hold on for a wonderful day for him, for Bassett and the team. They beat the Mets 3-0. Tied at 1 in Game 2 with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the box. He gets a terrible strike called against him before hitting a double down the line that would score the run which the Blue Jays needed to win as they take it 2-1. And in Game 3, the Mets, they hit 4 home runs from Pete Alonso, Starling Marte, and Tommy Pham with 2, but they were all solo shots for a total of 4 runs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he goes deep for his 9th of the year, and tied at 4 in the 7th, it's Brandon Belt. He hits a 2-run shot, his 3rd of the year. The Blue Jays win. They sweep the Mets, taking it 6-4. The Cardinals would play the Pirates, and the Cardinals would score 5 runs in the 3rd thanks to home runs from Brandon Donovan and Nolan Arenado, but the Pirates would eventually answer by scoring 6 runs in the 7th with the go-ahead clutch 3-run home run being hit by Ke'Bryan Hayes as the Pirates still won, taking the opener 7-5. In Game 2, Wilson Contreras and Ke'Bryan Hayes hit solo shots early to make it 1-1. Pirates would go on to score 3 more runs. The Cardinals would try and come back with a late 2-run shot from Nolan Gorman, but couldn't score 1 more run as the Pirates hold on. They win it 4-3. And in the final game, Jaquan Bay hits a 2-run single early, and thanks to Rich Hill and the Pirates bullpen, they hold the Cardinals to only 1 run on 5 hits. The Pirates win it. They sweep the Cardinals 2-1. That's a big sweep there. The Brewers and the Reds. Jonathan India's home run puts the Reds up, but Victor Caratini would ground out to score a run in the process to tie the game up at 3. It would remain like this till extras, more specifically the 11th, as the Brewers scored 2 in the top half and the Reds could only get 1 back in the bottom. The Brewers take the first game in extras 5-4. In Game 2, the Brewers were up 9-1 after Blake Perkins hit a grand slam for his first ever Major League home run. But the Reds would claw back hard, but William Contreras' home run would seal the deal for the Brewers. They would allow 11 hits, 10 walks, and 9 stolen bases, but still find a way to win it. They beat the Reds 10-8. In the last game, Andrew Monastero hits his first MLB home run for the Brewers, which was a 3-run shot, which would be followed by a Victor Caratini home run. As the Brewers take another one, winning it 5-1. They will look for the 4-game sweep today as they play a 4th game today against the Reds. The Cubs and the Padres. Dansby Swanson, a solo shot, his 6th home run of the year, would be the difference in this one as the Cubs take the first game, winning it 2-1. In Game 2, the Padres answer Yu Darvish, pitching the most pitches in a game in over 5 years as Tatis goes deep twice. Padres beat the Cubs 6-0. In the rubber match, the Cubs hit 3 home runs from Yan Gomes, Trey Mancini, and Miguel Amaya, his first ever MLB home run, while Marcus Stroman deals, going 6 innings, striking out 6. The Cubs win it. They beat the Padres in the series 7-1. The Braves and Diamondbacks. Eddie Rosario hits 2 solo shot home runs in the game, but the D-backs would score 3 runs thanks to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Christian Walker as D-backs take the opener 3-2. In Game 2, Ronald Acuna Jr. launches a home run 464 feet. Spencer Strider deals once again as the Braves win it to even the series 5-2. And in Game 3, Corbin Carroll with a solo shot would help the D-backs take the lead, but Ozzie Albies with the Braves ties it up, a 2-run home run. A few innings later, Ketel Marte, a 2-run shot, put the D-backs up in front again. They would remain in the lead until the 9th, where Eddie Rosario, he crushes a go-ahead grand slam for the Braves as they steal it from the D-backs. The Braves win 2 of the 3, taking the last game 8-5. Baltimore in San Francisco taking on the Giants, tied at 2, heading into the 7th. It's one of the young guns from Baltimore, Gunnar Henderson, with the go-ahead home run, which would end up being the difference as Baltimore takes the first game 3-2. In Game 2, Alex Cobb with an outstanding outing as he plays a big part in blanking the Oilers as the Giants take the second game, winning it 4-0. And in Game 3, the Oilers would start by scoring 6 runs in the 3rd and wouldn't look back after that, as that would be more than enough to win the game and the series as Baltimore takes it 8-3. Lastly here, the Yankees and the Dodgers set for 3. The Dodgers would score 6 runs in the first inning with a leadoff home run from Mookie Betts and a 2-run shot from Max Muncy. Mookie Betts would hit another home run later on, as well as JD Martinez, for a total of 4 Dodger home runs. The Yankees, they get some returns. Giancarlo Stanton and Josh Donaldson both return from injury and both would go off. Giancarlo Stanton, he hits a solo shot, and Josh Donaldson, he gets 2 home runs in his first game back from injury. The Dodgers do hold on though, beating the Yankees in the opener 8-4. In Game 2, Jake Bauers, 2 home runs. Aaron Judge, a home run. Oswaldo Cabrera, a home run. Cole leads the Yankees past the Dodgers with those 4 home runs. The Yankees take it 6-3. And in the final game, JD Martinez, he hits a solo shot to tie the game up for the Dodgers, but the Yankees would get the lead back in the 9th. And it's Anthony Volpe, a 2-run home run for some insurance. The Yankees hold on. They beat the Dodgers and win the series 4-1. All right, so looking at the game of the weekend, we're going to Atlanta and Arizona. The final game there on Sunday, Arcia grounds into a double play with the bases loaded, but that allowed a run to score to put Atlanta up 1 in the bottom of the second. Geraldo Perdomo, he doubles to tie the game up. And then in the bottom of the third, that's when Corbin Carroll hits his 10th home run of the year to make it 2-1 Arizona. Later on in the inning, Josh Rojas, he singles, making it 3-1, which takes us to the top of the 4th, where Ozzie Albies, he hits his 12th home run of the year, a 2-run shot to tie the game up at 3. Very next half inning, bottom of the 4th, Ketel Marte, a 2-run shot, his 9th of the year, making it 5-3 Arizona. Top of the 7th, Matt Olson, he singles to make it 5-4, and that sends us to the top of the 9th, where Eddie Rosario, he hits the grand slam to right center as Atlanta steals one from the Diamondbacks. They win it 8-5. That is your game of the weekend. A look at our baseball news. I mentioned in the series recap that Liam Hendricks won the game, or was winning pitcher on a very special day. That day on Sunday, in which Liam Hendricks got the win, was National Cancer Survivors Day. And Liam Hendricks was the winning pitcher. So, I mean, just another emotional kind of special story to write in his book. You know, it's great for Liam Hendricks, great for the White Sox. They were able to get the walk-off grand slam and sweep the Tigers. So yeah, really good stuff there. And on to a couple things not so good. Chris Sale, we mentioned on Friday that we had to wait and see with him. He's on the IL again with the left shoulder inflammation, which really sucks for him. You know, he's been battling with injuries. And it's been just a really unfortunate kind of last few years for him. But speaking of last few years and battling with injury, Stephen Strasburg continues to have the most unfortunate turn of events in baseball. Last we heard of him, he was on the 60-day IL. He would be eligible to come back now, but he will not. Instead, he will be shut down once again. They're saying his nerve damage continues to get worse and worse. The last we really heard of Strasburg was with the 2019 Washington Nationals when they won the World Series. He was the World Series MVP, you know, got a big extension from the Nationals. He was on top of the world. And since then, he's been battling injuries, battling the nerve damage, and it's gotten so worse that he may never pitch in major leagues again. It really sucks. It's a shame for Strasburg, so prayers up for him. Hopefully he can recover and we'll see him when we get the chance to, but it's been a rough go of things for Strasburg, and it's unfortunate to say that he may never pitch in MLBs again. So yeah, just wanted to mention that out. So one happy story and two not so good ones for our baseball news. Now on to our outstanding performances for the weekend, and boy was there a lot. Edward Cabrera with the Miami Marlins, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. That pitcher's duel in Texas in the first game, John Gray, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. And Luis Castillo, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 Ks there. Framber Valdez with the Astros, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. Chris Bassett, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 Ks, and a child, his second child. Christian Javier with the Astros, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 Ks. Yu Darvish, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. The most pitches in an MLB game since June 7th, 2017. 115 pitches were thrown by Yu Darvish, the most in 6 years, so very impressive there. Alex Cobb, the Giants, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Spencer Strider, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks. Nathan Eovaldi, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 7 Ks. And I didn't mention this in the series recap, but Tristan McKenzie, he's back. He is healthy for the Guardians. He made his season debut, and he was electric. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Good for McKenzie to be back making a season debut. Those are your outstanding performances. Because of the player of the month stuff, we're going to skip the standings check today. And just go straight into the upcoming series here to round off today's episode. The Reds and the Brewers, as well as the Red Sox and the Rays, they both play a Monday game today, so we'll go over that quickly to start off on Friday. Besides that, the Blue Jays are hosting the Astros. The Yankees host the White Sox. Twins in Tampa. Red Sox at the Guardians. Cardinals at Rangers. Cubs in LA taking on the Angels. Tigers at Phillies. The Royals are in Miami taking on the Marlins. D-backs and Nationals. The Mets at Atlanta. That's a fun series. Oilers at Brewers. The Pirates have won 5 straight, so they're hosting the Oakland Athletics, so good for the Pirates to continue to win there. The Dodgers at Cincinnati taking on the Reds. Mariners in San Diego taking on the Padres. And lastly, the Giants at Colorado taking on the Rockies. That's going to do it for us today. A little bit lengthier, partially because of the player of the months for May. But hopefully you guys have wonderful weeks. We'll be back Friday. So thank you guys very much, and I will see you guys then. Take it easy.